proactively to protect themselves from investment fraud. Now, I think the first thing we have to say is, if something is too good to be true, it probably is. I actually got a phone call yesterday from some broker who was trying to sell me securities in New York City. But we see a lot of scams lately, and a lot of common scams and schemes where people lose their money and there's really no ability to recover these monies because the person who sold them to you is out of business. They're Ponzi schemes, they're scams. I think the first one that comes to attention is asset-backed mortgages. We've all heard about what's going on right now in the subprime market. Well, there are companies out there that take mortgages, people who can't afford to pay these mortgages, known as their interest-only mortgages, they pool them together, and then they go around selling them to individuals like yourselves under the notion that they're asset-backed securities. There was a company in Philadelphia about 2 years ago called American Business Financial. They went out promising people 12% return on asset-backed mortgages. Well, it turns out the whole thing was a Ponzi scheme. The asset-backed mortgages weren't collateralized. The good ones were bought by the institutions. A group of investors lost approximately $800 million in American Business Financial Systems. And these people thought they were buying mortgages. Many of our clients, one particular gentleman, had invested $400,000. It was his entire life savings in these products. It's all gone. The second investment product, if you hear anything about this, you should run for the hills. They're called viatical settlements. If someone has a terminally ill disease and they have a life insurance policy, what they do is they sell the policy to a third party for cash, and then when that person dies, the person who bought the policy gets the proceeds. We see many of these mutual benefit corporations. When people, let's say someone's dying of AIDS, and they have $1 million life insurance policy, but they want the money today. They don't want to wait till they die. Well, someone can buy that policy for, let's say, $300,000 or $400,000 and wait until the person dies, and then when they die, they get the $1 million. Well, we've seen time and time again where these companies that offer these viatical settlements go out of business. They're Ponzi schemes, the money's offshore, investors, individual investors who worked hard for their money, lose it all. Be careful, you hear about viatical settlements, run for the hills. The second one is precious metals and coins. We've been getting a lot of calls lately, and most people don't understand this, but there's no regulation of coins. People who collect coins and sell them, there's no recognized market out there. We had a woman who called us from California about a month ago and invested several $100,000 in coins, and the coin seller told her that they were worth so much money, and they had an appraised value, and they were worth so much. It turns out they weren't worth a quarter of what she paid for them. And there's really no recourse. It's not governed under the federal securities laws. It's not governed under state law. It's really no different than buying and selling or collecting any other collectibles, including Barbie dolls and model trains. We collect coins. Coins as investments, unless you really know what you're doing. These people who are out there selling coins, some of them came from the brokerage business. Some of them came from the financial industry, who were expelled from the financial industry. Now they're in the unregulated area of selling coins. Another area, be very careful, is internet investments. We have seen many, many cases where people are trying to sell direct investments in these internet kiosks. Where they say, well, you give us $5,000 and we're going to put an internet kiosk where people can access the internet at an airport, in a luncheonette, in different places where people would have access to the internet. We've seen the same thing with ATM machines, where someone will sell you the right to put an ATM machine somewhere, and they'll manage it for you, and all you have to do is invest the money. Payphones, offshore gaming companies. Again, these are securities. These are the investment of money with the expectation of making profits from the efforts of others. But again, in certain areas, these are completely unregulated. And we've seen many, many cases over the year where people have invested their life savings in payphones, ATM machines, internet kiosks, where it turns out that it's a fraud. And not only is it a fraud, but even if you sue them, you're not going to be able to recover any money because generally the money's all gone because, again, they are Ponzi schemes. Another